You were chosen. You are going to become rich due to ancient prophecies, guys. And that's what we're going to be investigating in today's video. There's a bunch of deep connections here. Grab your popcorn and let us begin. Hello everyone, hope you guys are having an amazing day. XRP is around $2.75. I wouldn't worry about price if I were you. I would worry about future events. Because price was already given. Price has already been determined due to past events that will be fulfilled in a not too distant future, it seems like. So let us investigate how it ties to Ripple and XRP and why it was chosen and why we will help, as you guys read in the title. Does the Bible prophesize a one world government and a one world currency in the end times? Let's go down here. So in his apocalyptic vision, the Apostle John sees the beast whom we identify as the Antichrist rising out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Comparing the vision to Daniel's similar one, we can conclude that some sort of world governance system will be inaugurated by the beast. So as we just read right there, guys, there will be a centralized system. Okay, there will be a centralized system, which I believe is connected to decentralized finance. How weird that is, a paradox. Now, once entrenched in power, the beast, which is the Antichrist, and the power behind him will move to establish absolute control. Okay? To control people, commerce must be controlled. Isn't it funny how blockchain technology was supposed to be meant for the good of people? But if you guys didn't realize, well, everything's literally controlled on the blockchain, tracked and traced. And then if we include CBDCs here rather shortly, yeah, the centralization of power becomes greater. Everyone, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, will be forced to receive some type of mark on their right hands or on their foreheads in order to buy and sell, and everyone will receive it. Why? Because you want to live, don't you? Ripple compatible chip development sponsored by United States US Navy. Oh, now we're getting somewhere, but this isn't even the crazy part. We're going to keep diving deep here. In an interview, Catherine Fitz stated that a year ago, the US Navy hired a Danish tech company to develop an implantable microchip and make it compatible with the Ripple blockchain. And she comes here stating this right here.
It's very interesting. I won't bore you with all the details, but I had an incredible experience in Denmark a year ago, and I was trying to figure out what's going on in Denmark. They had one of the tech firms in Denmark was being paid by the US Navy to come up with a chip that could be implanted in the human body that would integrate with Ripple.
So the US Navy went to a Danish tech company to try to find a solution to integrate Ripple's technology with humans, right? I mean, that seems crazy if you ask me. Is there something deeper that goes with this? And it's not just an old regular chip. It sure seems to be that way.
Ripple is a crypto, and it's one that's gotten a lot of promotion from the American establishment. It's one that's gotten a lot of. So Ripple is a crypto.
She says Ripple is a crypto, but I'm guessing she meant XRP here, right? Because Ripple is a fintech company, the parent company of XRP, to building the foundation of that new era.
And it's one that's gotten a lot of promotion from the American establishment, in my experience, just my impression. So why is the U.S. Navy paying a Danish tech company to come up with an implantable chip that will integrate with Ripple? Exactly.
Which is why you're going to get rich, guys, but in exchange for who knows what. Okay? If you're invested into XRP, and I'm not kidding.
Once you centralize power, you have more power to centralize even quicker. And so the speed of...
Exactly. Which are why banks will disappear in due time. There are thousands of banks worldwide. Throughout time, the banks have been collapsing little by little, right? Because the elites want the centralization of power, guys, and there will be bank runs on top of bank runs on top of bank collapses. The only banks that will survive will be the main ones, which will introduce a what? There's already this one world G. You guys didn't know this, right? There's already, and it's all from banks, by the way.
Centralization of power gets faster and faster, which is exactly what's happened year on year on year on year on, decade after decade. And the idea is that we have a world government, a world army, this military police state imposing the will of the world government, a world currency, a world central bank dictating all finance.
Sure seems like it to me. The one currency that will reign supreme, as it has been foretold from Ripple. They stated this themselves. Simple goal of making XRP the world's reserve digital currency. The reserve digital currency. There may be a USD and XRP, which will be combined together, okay, in fulfilling this one coin to rule them all. Strange, right? So now, it hasn't even got too crazy yet, but now it's about to be. Big name investors back effort to build a better Bitcoin. News today from OpenCoin, a startup that today launched its own digital currency called Ripple, and tools for making transactions in other currencies, including Bitcoins, suggests that may change. The company says it has attracted early investments of an undisclosed size from established venture capital firms, including Andreessen Horowitz, which reportedly made over $100 million when Microsoft bought Skype, and Lightspeed Ventures. OpenCoin has also received investment from the early stage Wing. Look at this. Founders Fund, a venture firm owned by PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel. Stop right there. Peter Thiel, connected to OpenCoin, which is now Ripple, the parent company of XRP. Talking about Peter Thiel from Disclose TV, new tech bro billionaire Peter Thiel will hold a 4-part lecture series on the Antichrist starting September 15th at the Commonwealth Club in San Francisco. That's all we needed to hear. That's all we needed to see. Now do you guys understand why XRP was chosen? Why you're going to become filthy rich from it. It's already been guaranteed, so congratulations. You just earned yourself a medal or a ticket in summoning the end times. Important, this ticket includes all 4 events: Monday, September 15th, September 22nd, September 29th, and October 6th. Your ticket is non-transferable and non-refundable. You're warmly invited to a series of 4 lectures by Peter Thiel addressing the topic of the biblical Antichrist. Peter is a technology entrepreneur and investor who spent much of his career writing and speaking about how his Christian faith informs his understanding of the world. His remarks will be anchored on science and technology and will comment on the theology, history, literature, and politics of the Antichrist. Religious thinkers upon whom Peter will draw include a few others. These lectures are off the record. The tickets are only available for the full 4-part program. Wait, it's off the record. I wish they filmed it, guys. I was hoping that they were going to film it, right? Because I was intrigued and I wanted to listen, right, and watch and see what he says here. But I guess not. But again, he's going to be
money altogether going from.
Oops, you wait right on there. We're going to be talking about you in just a sec. But he's going to be talking about the beast coming up soon, okay? And we know that he's connected to XRP, okay? Since he was an early investor of OpenCoin, which is now Ripple. He forecasts blockchain tokenization and the internet value in 1999. Let's listen to this.
Of money altogether going from digital dollars, from any kind of government-backed currency to purely private currencies. And what a private currency, or what private money I think fundamentally means, is that there is no medium of exchange. You exchange value for value, rather than exchanging value for something the government says has value for value. And whenever you have this intermediate step of the government saying something has value, that's where you have the subterfuge, the sort of legerdemain come in, the game of musical chairs, where every now and then a chair gets pulled out, and it turns out that you're the one holding a dollar bill that's all of a sudden become worth a little bit less. And the kind of exchange of value for value, the classic model would have been some sort of a barter model. That obviously has enormous transaction costs associated with it. These transaction costs go down in a digital age. And the kind of model that I think is the most likely to take place is one where you have other kinds of financial instruments that are very, very liquid. The one I would cite in the U.S. would be something like an index on the S&P 500.
But he wouldn't dare to speak in the public stage back whenever this was taken a long time ago, about why they're going to bring upon these new technologies. Okay, it is not just for the betterment of civilization itself. I think it will be the downfall of civilization, more so perhaps a quite literal reset we got on our hands.
Or some sort of generalized stock market index, where instead of having currency as being the place where you have value, it is in real property, real companies, things that actually have real value. And so that you might conduct business by trading, not dollars, but trading little slivers of the S&P 500 or of particular large stocks like Microsoft or something like that. My guess is that it might be the whole stock market as a whole. And that
tokenizing the stock market, which is being tokenized right now, other aspects of other industries.
As you trade these things, that's where you have the kind that becomes in effect a de facto currency. Now,
which will be on the XRP ledger from XX. Open everything. Open AI, Open Gov, Open Door, Open Society, Open Coin, which they switched their name quickly so it doesn't follow the script, to Ripple. Right? And Ripple has its own meaning though. Why is everything open? You guys know, coming down here, Peter Thiel from his book 0 to 1.
Money altogether.
That's going to be XRP, right? 0 to 1. Why? Because it was guaranteed, guys. It was meant to be this way. So, talking about the end times. There are 3 different sets of beliefs here from 3 different main religions that have their own set of belief. The Bible describes the end times as a period leading up to Jesus Christ's return, marked by intense judgment. Okay? That's for Christianity. For Islam, the end times involve the Day of Judgment, apocalyptic signs such as major wars and global upheaval. But then for the Jewish faith, Judaism believes in the end of days or messianic age characterized by world peace, universal knowledge of God, and the resurrection of the dead. Okay, so it's all very similar. The only difference here, I think, is the 2 other religions believe that this religion will summon the Antichrist, right? But in their faith, it's the Messiah, okay? And there are different requirements. I think of this as like a game, right? And I'm waiting for the final event to finally take place, which is going to be amazing, in my opinion. So I can't wait. But there needs to be certain conditions to be met, as in requirements, okay? For example, building the 3rd temple here, right? And they have been trying to for a long time, but rather recently getting things prepared, okay? And one of them being a blood sacrifice, which is why we're seeing what's happening with the world today. Albert Pike, a letter to someone else back in 1871, guys. And coming down here, look at what he commented, okay? Well, the 3rd war must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agents of the secret society between the political Z's and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that the Islam and political Z mutually destroy each other. And what's happening right now, exactly what a 33rd degree stated, guys. Right, because basically what they're doing is following a script here, or at least that's the end of the video. It seems like they're going to be summoning the final character, which is going to be crazy in my opinion. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. I don't know why they're taking so long to rebuild the temple. Just hurry it up, so we could get the show on the road. Right, and bring upon the finale, which is the final event. It's like the final quest, guys, that needs to be completed. But I don't know your belief here. Whatever it may be, guys, the good in the end wins. Okay, light always prevails, and there's that. Now, financial advice. Let us see what happens next. But again, congratulations, you earned yourself a reward in helping to summon the Antichrist.